Hi all, so in the last video we had seen the processing of coconut. So in this video let's see about some of the value added products of coconut and how it is being processed. So these are few listed out products that we obtain from coconut. That is the tender coconut water, tender coconut candy, dressed tender coconuts, snowball tender nut, natadi cocoa, desiccated coconut and the copra. So coming to the first tender coconut water, so we all know most sterile of all the naturally occurring drinks is the tender coconut water. So this coconut fruit at nearly 7 to 8 month maturity, they contain at 300 ml of water with 20 gram of sugar and 2 gram of potassium. So we had found out from the study that what is contained in a tender coconut water. It has like numerous medicinal value, and we all know that what are all the chemical constituents that coconut water has. Like we can differentiate between a matured coconut and a tender coconut. So we are categorizing, obviously when we buy a tender coconut we know the differentiation. So how the percentage of the chemicals plays the major role in between the mature and the tender coconut is like drastically shown in this table. So when we compare tender coconut has larger amount of chemical constituents when compared with the mature coconut. So medicinal uses, obviously we all know it kills the intestines worms, and also presence of saline and albumin, it makes it a very good drink for the cholera cases. And also when we are sick and old, it serves as a excellent tonic, and it also cures malnutrition, effective in the treatment of kidney stones, and also it is also found one of the substitute as blood plasma substitute. And there are more medicinal uses also, like packed tender coconut water, like coming into where the technology plays the major role. Like it was developed by CDB and the DFRL. Like they were packed in flexible pouches and aluminum beverage containers, where their shelf life of the tender coconut water was increased for 9 to 12 months. The main drawbacks due to this processing of this packed tender coconut is thermal processing caused some nutrient loss and flavor loss and limits the marketability. Further investigation is required to extend the shelf life, improve quality and suitable packaging system. Tender coconut kernel processing. So how the kernel is being processed. So inside, we all know when we drink the water, inside few matured coconuts or the tender coconuts, some amount of the kernels will be present. How the kernels is processed is 250 gram of kernel is obtained from one nut. So it's a very good source of carbohydrate, protein and fiber and other nutrients also. The development of new products like tutti frutti, candy from fresh kernels that is left after the use of tender coconut water. So young coconut kernel products ideal for dessert or the snack foods. And then tender coconut kernel candy. So this candy is nothing but the scooped kernels, that is after the tender coconut water is being drunk, sometimes the people just leave out the whole coconut. So inside sometimes a few kernels will be present. The scooped kernels are being taken, and it is taken by scooping process only. Then it is being cut and immersed in lime water for 3 to 5 minutes. Then washing is being done for 3 to 4 times, blanching for 5 minutes and spreading of sugar. So after which the draining of the syrup is done. Citric acid is added in some amount. Then boiling of the syrup with coconut pieces, then draining of the syrup, drying it in hot air or sun, and packaging in polythene bags or the bottles. So this is how the candy, that is the tender coconut candy, is being processed. Then coming to the dressed tender coconuts, these are done by using 7 to 8 months old tender nuts They are machine shaped, as we have seen, you can see in the picture, that is the outer layer is removed, that we call it as the machine shaped hexagonal shape, wrapping it with polythene bags and storing at refrigerated conditions. So that is we name it as the dressed tender coconut. Then snowball tender coconut. Snowball tender nut is a tender nut without the husk, shell and the testa, that is only the ball, that is the tender ball that is taken out from the outer shell. This is like 8-month-old coconut is suitable for taking this snowball. So how it is being processed is like we have to take a 8 to 9-month-old tender coconut, dehusk and shell removal, then we will obtain the kernel ball. Nata de coco is nothing but a white gelatinous food product obtained by the action of the microorganisms. So mainly the Aspergillus psyllium on coconut water or coconut milk. Good quality nata is very smooth, clear and chewy. How this is processed is, first the water is taken, filtered, boiled and cooled, then enriched with sugar 10%, 1% of glacial acid, and then inoculating with Aspergillus xylenium, kept for like 12 to 15 days at 28 degrees Celsius. Nata is formed, then it is being harvested, cutting it and again washing it in water, draining of the water, addition of if color is required, cooking for 24 hours and filling in bottles with the sugar syrup. Then again sterilizing for 30 minutes and then storing it. So this is how the nata de coco, as we all seen, it is being processed. Then comes the desiccated coconut. We all know that is, we call it as a grated form of the coconut that we usually utilize in our homes. And the main thing is it is being marketed in the dried form. So it is like dried disintegrated coconut meat, crisp, snow and white in color. Like major producers are Philippines and Sri Lanka, and major consumers are Australia, USA, West Germany. Production in India is still in infancy stage only. Then how we classify it is based on the oil content of it only. We are going in for choosing the copra for the desiccated coconut. And the processing of this desiccated coconut, like dehusked coconut is being dehusked, deshelled, paring, washing and sterilizing. Then immersing in SO2 solution, disintegrating it, drying, cooling, grading and packaging it. So mainly the yield depends on the maturity and weight of the fully matured nuts. In India, nearly 8,000 to 9,000 nuts are produced in 1 ton of desiccated coconut, and in Philippines 7,000 nuts are being produced in 1 ton of desiccated coconut. So this is the desiccated coconut powder, how the powder is being done. So we have already seen this processed. Then the coconut flour, we all know the wet kernel is taken, washed, disintegrated, sieved, grated and dried. Then by hydraulic pressure the flour is being separated. Then coconut skim milk powder, like first how skim milk powder is, we are extracting the coconut milk, centrifuging it in cream separator. We'll separate the skim milk separately, spray dry it, and then we'll obtain the coconut skim milk powder and stored under vacuum conditions. Then coconut water, we all know vinegar is being done in used in coconut water, strained and mixing it with brown sugar to adjust the sugar concentration, heating and allowed it to cool, fermenting it for 5 weeks and again filtered, sterilized and bottled. Coconut shell charcoal. So we all know the outside of the copra, we all know the brown color shell. So it is being used to extract the charcoal. So we all know in case of babies also, we take in the outer shell of the coconut and we extract the charcoal for keeping it as a drishti mark for the babies. So burning a little limited supply of air sufficient for carbonization uses a primary raw material for the production of activated carbons. And next is the activated carbon, how the methods like it is being produced. And coconut oil, we all know how the oil is being extracted by expellers, hydraulic press, checks and checker and rotary methods. Main applications of this coconut is being used in food and confectionery uses, pharmaceutical uses and the industrial uses. So these are all the applications of coconuts. Also it has few disadvantages, like it has a higher oil absorption during frying, rubbery flavor due to the oil upon exposure to sunlight. And also coconut has a coir, and coir products also being used in the coconuts. End uses like mats, mattings, wall coverings, in spinning yarn for the manufacture of coil products also the coconut is being used. So this is something about the processing of coconut. Thank you.